While you're downtown, you will be able to take in the glory that is the Mayflies. I'm exaggerating just a little bit. Yeah, the Mayflies are here, and they're not really shy about making our home their home. Warrenette shared this picture with us on the 3 What's New Facebook page. That would be the doormat in front of her house in Sandusky.
Yeah, they're everywhere. I will say, 2 weeks ago, they were at their peak. Last weekend, I was in Sandusky as well. They weren't nearly as bad last weekend. Bill shared these pictures from Huron. He said that since they're everywhere, all over his front door, he thought he'd snap a picture and send it to us. Look at that, Betts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like a carpet of
There have to
Mayflies.
be lights around in that area.
Yeah,
they do
bright
swarm
lights at
the
night.
lights.
That's what they love. Mike Polk Jr. decided that he needed to find out more about these pesky insects.
Well, folks, if you've been anywhere near the lake the last couple of days, you know that Cleveland is currently under attack by objectively gross bugs called mayflies. These things are everywhere right now, but we knew this was coming. And how did we know? Because this swarm that has descended upon our city was so huge that it showed up on the National Weather Service's radar last week. No joke. So they're all here bumping into stuff, clogging up our spider webs and confusing our dogs. But what's the deal with these skeezy invaders? Let's get to know our enemy with these fun and fascinating mayfly facts. They're harmless. Sure, they might gross you out a little bit, but that's as far as it can go. Mayflies do not bite, sting, or carry disease-causing organisms, and I, for one, appreciate that. They are not midges, people. You might be tempted to mistake this mayfly plague for our traditional midge plague, but mayflies are actually a totally different bug. One difference is that mayflies have larger, distinct wings and longer bodies. Another is that mayflies did not help Cleveland win Game 2 of the ALDS over the Yankees back in 2007. What have you ever done for us, mayflies? They're an important part of the ecosystem. Mayflies are a crucial source of food for trout, bass, catfish, frogs, newts, and birds. So maybe seeing all those bugs is unpleasant to you, but if you're a newt or a catfish, it looks like the Golden Corral buffet out there right now. They are notoriously short-lived. Mayflies are perhaps best known for their extremely brief lifespan, as they typically only live between 24 to 72 hours. Their only purpose is to reproduce and then die as soon as they complete that mission. This might seem like a pointless existence from a philosophical standpoint, but by the time mayflies start contemplating that fact, they're already pretty much dead, which is a blessing in its own way. They are bananas for bright lights. You would think that if you were only going to exist for about 48 hours, you wouldn't want to spend the vast majority of that time bumping into a streetlight with 10,000 other mayflies. But who are we to tell them how to live their lives? The larger the swarm, the healthier the lake. Mayflies require very clean water to breathe, so seeing a lot of them is a good indication of a healthy environment. This is in contrast to the aforementioned midges, which are not discerning about water quality at all and will breed even if the area is kind of toxic, because midges be nasty. They're the go-to look for fishing fly makers. That's right, mayflies are such a treat for trout and other popular game fish that they are the primary source of models for artificial fishing flies. I mean, who could resist that? Mayflies are also known as Canadian soldiers. Why is this particularly relevant right now, you might ask? I'll tell you why. Because this month marks the 210th anniversary of the beginning of the War of 1812, in which the United States was in conflict with Great Britain and its province of Canada. And now here we are, 210 years later, once again under attack by Canadian soldiers. Okay, that last one was kind of a reach, but frankly, there are only so many fascinating facts about mayflies, so cut me some slack. Okay, hope this helped everybody. Happy mayfly season.
Well, now you know, and you can, the worst part is at night when you're driving and they land on the ground or something and they crunch as you're driving by, and it's just the worst sound.
Yeah, he didn't eat one in the piece. I thought he might.
Thankfully.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't, because
don't do that.
I have a notoriously weak stomach and I wouldn't be able to watch that. I will say it's fascinating to me that when you put it that way, they're here for 1 to 3 days and their sole purpose is to breed and then die.
Yep. And the whole nutrition cycle that is involved in that breeding and dying process. I mean, think about how that helps the fish, the newts.
Yeah. Well, the birds love it too. We were eating outside Sunday breakfast in Sandusky, and there was a mother bird that was feeding her babies in the nest, and we could see them from our table. And she was just coming back every minute with a beak full of mayflies.
Great wings galore.
And these babies were like, "Wow, this is unbelievable! An endless source of food."
Yeah.
Don't get used to it.
Yeah, exactly. They're not here for a really long time. So, all right, thank you so much for that, Mike.